guys, so today we are doing what we call the short walk. Let me bring you over to this map and I'll show you where we are. So we're starting today parked here. So in the last video we parked here and walked this way. Today we are going this way. So I don't know if you can see that there. This way we're parking. We went that way last time. Today we're going this way. So yeah, join me on this walk. It's about 4-5 miles in length, and it is the very last section of the Ridgeway. So join me on this walk, and I'll show you some of the views along the way. So yeah, like I say, this walk is around 4 to 5 miles. It's very sort of picturesque, really, considering where it is and where you just wouldn't expect it around here, really. I know I keep banging on about it, but it really is lovely. So I don't know if you can see behind me there, but we come through this gate here, and then you come into this. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be walking down this track here. My mum's all the way down there, I don't know if you can see. All the way down to the end, up left along the ridge, through the woods, and then go over the ridge onto the other side. Follow the track round and then eventually end up over there, which is Ivinghoe Beacon. Usually signposted by that big sort of tree. I don't know if you can quite see it. I'll try and point it out in the video. But yeah, that's where we're gonna that's the point we're heading for, and then we'll loop all the way back round and then join this track back up and get back to the car. All in all, it should take around no more than 2 hours. Usually we can kind of do it in 1 hour and 45, but we'll see how we get on today. But yeah, 4 to 5 miles with about sort of 2 hours worth of walking, really. So yeah. So what have I taken with me for today? So all I've taken really is just my backpack, and in there I've just got some waterproofs, some water, and all my kind of normal bits that I have in there anyway, so like my compass and bits like that, but we won't be needing that today, but real kind of minimal stuff really. So that's kind of all I've taken. Shoes wise, clothes wise, I've got just a light t-shirt, Berghaus, some sort of exercise shorts, and then some GORE-TEX walking shoes as well. So nothing much you really need to take for this walk. It's relatively sort of, like I say, short, so you don't need to take too much. I wouldn't recommend bringing loads of food or anything like that. But yeah, really easy in terms of what you need to bring with you. Not so easy in terms of difficulty, especially if you're new to this. Don't get me wrong, anyone can do it, but it does have some kind of quite steep inclines, which, you know, anyone can do if they take their time. But yeah, it's not the easiest walk to do if you're just starting out. So yeah, that's kind of what I brought with me today. We're just coming up to a sort of our first sort of incline now, which will kind of take us along that kind of ridge line there, up to a sort of gate, which will walk through into the woods. But yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it? Don't know if you can see all that, but the views are just awesome. So like I kind of mentioned earlier, this walk is the very last section of the famous Ridgeway walk, which kind of starts off over towards Swindon and ends at Ivinghoe Beacon. So this really is the last kind of couple of miles of the Ridgeway walk. When we get to the top of Ivinghoe Beacon, there's a little kind of monument that shows the Ridgeway, which I'll put on this video. But yeah, it's steeped in history, and there's so much stuff that's kind of gone on here throughout history. I'm hoping to show you a little bit of that today. A bit further around, there's like a clearing area which was used back in the day, and I'll talk more about that when we get there. But really interesting. Yeah, there's just so much stuff that went on here. I don't think we'll really know the half of it, if I'm honest. But yeah. So we're just starting that sort of first ascent bit now, which is only probably, I don't know, 200 metres or something. Not 200 metres worth of elevation, but 200 metres in distance. This is the easier route, sort of easier way, believe it or not. There is a harder way when it's up that. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and point it out, but sort of down here, that's extremely steep. Very rarely do I see people do that and take that on. And would I do it? No, I won't. I ain't doing that. No chance. In the winter, we started doing this walk again in sort of January. No, when was it? No, it was around June this year. So it must have been last year, sort of January time, when we started doing this walk. I kind of stood up at the top there, where those trees are. I don't know if you can see. And had a little look down and was like, absolutely no way. It's like, just falls off. It feels like you're just going to walk off the edge of the earth. And in the winter, that's not really the one. So, yeah. But yeah, no, very steep. I don't know if you can catch that on the camera. That is ridiculously steep. But no, we're working up this way, so just started walking up this now, so I'll turn the camera off and see you when we get to the top of this little bit. Just thought I'd stop here for a sec. For me, this is probably some of the best views of the whole walk, kind of looking down sort of valley there, I guess you call it. Yeah, it's just lovely. Over there, right in the far distance, you've got a lot of the Chilterns. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, we're going to be heading this way. Cool, so we've made it to the gate now. So we've just gone up this bit here, this first ascent, and we've made it to what we call the gate. So we're going to go through there, through the woods, and then once we get through there, we'll pretty much be at the beacon. So, why am I doing this walk? Why are we doing this walk? Well, we're actually we've got Cadair Idris in Wales booked for in a couple of weeks over the August bank holiday, which I'm sure a lot of other people will as well. But I mean, I've done it before. I did it 2 or 3 years ago. But my sort of family want to do it as well. So I said, yeah. So we booked a nice little lodge over in Wales, sort of right at the base of Cadair. Then we're going to do the hike on the Saturday. So drive up Friday, do the walk Saturday, come home Sunday. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, the reason we're doing these walks is just a little bit of training, really. Get some miles in the legs, get a little bit of fitness back. I think doing things like that around here, perfect. Especially for me. It's 15 minutes away from where I live. You've got some really good views, inclines, declines. It's perfect, really, for everything that we need it for. Plus, it gets you out of the house a little bit as well. I mean, what are we now? 20 past 8 on a Sunday. I'd normally be tucked up in bed or hungover or something. But no, here we are, we're out doing this, so no, really good. So when we do this walk, bearing in mind we've done this probably, I don't know, 100 odd times now, whatever. There's two kind of routes you can go. You can go through the woodland, which we're doing at the moment, or you can go round, which is the sort of way we'll come back, just so I can show you both ways. But this is probably my favourite way to come, just because you've got this amazing old sort of tree. I think it's an oak tree, but I'm just going to turn it around now so you can see. Yeah, it's probably my favourite place on this walk. Definitely locally, I mean. You can't really get in there annoyingly, but I guess that's probably a good thing. But it'd just be nice to sort of sit under there in the summer if it's kept as a bit of a meadow. Hallowed oak. Trees with this kind of spreading shape are a fantastic habitat for insects and spiders. Yeah, nice. But yeah, no, look at that, lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to carry on walking this way now, and then it will bring us out kind of onto that. If any of you have kind of been over this neck of the woods, you can see you'd know there's a road that kind of splits Ivinghoe in half, really, or sort of Pittston Ivinghoe. It's called Beacon Road. So yeah, once we kind of get through this woods, we'll get to that road. But yeah, while we're here, let's just sort of take a minute to enjoy it. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that on there, but it's like someone's made like a little tree branch twig cave thing next to that other oak tree there. Awesome. So like I say, I mean, we come on this walk every week. This is our kind of go-to walk, really. We do this more than any of the other ones, purely because it gives you a bit of everything. You know, if you're training for something, perfect. If you're training to do any mountains in Wales or whatever it might be, just this is spot on. It really does kind of give you a varied kind of terrain and all sorts of different things. But yeah, mainly we do this one mainly because of the time it takes to do it. There are kind of two others. So one which I've already posted on my channel, and then there's another one which we're going to be doing next week, which is what we call the long walk. It's about 14 miles, starts over at Wendover. Sorry if the audio's bad, but it starts off over at Wendover and then finishes over here at Ivinghoe Beacon. Although we've already done that once this year, So we are going to do it again for one last time next week, just because it's 2 weeks before we do CAD. So give us a really good kind of guide as to how fit we are going into the when we do CAD. But what we'll probably do, just because it is our last walk before the mountain, is we'll probably end up in Aldbury, where there's a lovely little pub called the Greyhound, and finish there, and then head on up to Ashridge Estate, where there's a little monument, and that's probably where we'll finish the walk. But traditionally, that walk will end over at Ivinghoe Beacon, and it's usually around 14 miles. But yeah, I'll post the links to my all trails below in the description. So any walks that I've done previously, if you guys are interested in doing them, just click on that. You'll be able to see all the hikes and stuff that I've done in the past. And yeah, hopefully you guys can enjoy them as much as I can. So we're just coming up to the Ivinghoe Beacon, sort of the beginning of it now. We've kind of gone through the woodland with the oak trees and stuff, and now we're just coming to Ivinghoe Beacon. But just so you guys can see, Ivinghoe Beacon is here, and then we're going to follow that ridge all the way along, round and then back. There's some ups, there's some downs, there's a lot. So yeah, really excited about it. But yeah, beautiful. So here we are at the base of Ivinghoe Beacon, and as you can see, sorry if the audio, it's the road that we'll talk about. This kind of takes you, if you follow this road this way, it will take you into pretty much Ashridge, and it kind of goes all the way through there. This is okay. We are going up here. So yeah, this is kind of the first real start now to the ascent of the beacon, where there's a little trig point. So if you're into your bagging all your trigs, this is obviously one. You probably may have already done it, but if you haven't, it's a great place to start. It's a book that you can buy that kind of notes all the trig points around sort of Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire and all that kind of stuff to help you kind of tick off, for those of you that like lists, all the trigs around the area. Some, to be honest, I didn't even know existed, but they're there. So yeah, this is one that's most commonly done just because it's so accessible. You've got the road, you've got the car park, plenty of routes in, and because it's the end of the Ridgeway walk, it's very popular amongst hikers and walkers and stuff. So yeah, great one to start. Great one to start on, for sure. So we just kind of come up with 20%. So I don't know if you can kind of see that, but we'll go over this little sort of peak here, and then it will drop down and it will really steepen off to the summit of the beacon. I'm making it sound worse than it is. It's really not that bad, but yeah, still gets your heart pumping, that's for sure. And when we're at the top, I'll show you some of the amazing views that you can have at the top. It's a little bit hazy today, but I'm sure we'll still get a great view. So yeah, we're just going up the last sort of steep section for summiting Ivinghoe Beacon. Yeah. It is every week. And every week it still not catches me out, but so here we are then, we're at the summit of Ivinghoe Beacon. Just walk over to the trig point now and we can see some of the views. And again, I'm sorry if the audio's poor. just look at some of those views. One roll of trig baggage. You've got to touch it. Yeah, I don't know. Quite breezy, but that tree there, I'm just hiding behind the trig point at the moment to hopefully try and get away from some of the wind. But that tree there is the one that I pointed out in the video earlier. That's the one that everyone looks out for when they're sort of aiming for Ivinghoe Beacon. Oh, they've ripped out the map. There used to be a map here that explained Ivinghoe Beacon. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll put a picture on the back here where the of Ivinghoe Beacon route, or the Ridgeway route, so you guys can see it. But usually someone's obviously ripped it out or they're replacing it or whatever. It was quite old, so yeah. But here we are, top of Ivinghoe Beacon. Say hello, Mum.
Hello.
She's been trying to move out of the way of the camera. I was like, nope, I'm getting you in. Cool, right, let's head down this way now. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to follow this ridge line all the way to a place called Gallows Hill. Now, some of you might know what that is, but for those that don't, it was back in the day, it was kind of used as a bit of a punishment area, I guess, or for people that, you know, criminals and all that kind of stuff. And effectively, what it is, it's an execution site. So where people used to get hanged or had their heads chopped off or whatever it was. So we're going to walk over to there now. And like I say, this place is absolutely steeped in history. This is just one of the little bits that is on the route. So I thought I'd show you guys. It's a bit of a funny story about that, really. We've been walking this way for how long? How long do you reckon? A couple of years, 2-3 years. Yeah, we've been doing this walk for 2 or 3 years. So yeah, every time we come, only because on Google Maps it says that Gallows Hill is up here. So I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of over here. That's what it says on Google Maps. However, it's not. So every time we've been walking up here, going, oh, this is Gallows Hill. And you know, when we first kind of found out about it, it was like, oh, imagine all the horrible things that went on here. And you know, we were like, oh, it does feel a bit eerie. Nah, we've been standing on the wrong bit for 2 years. So we're actually going to take you to the actual Gallows Hill today. So yeah, we're just going to follow this ridge line here. I don't know if you can see, but it really is a ridge. Got a slope off to the right, slope off to the left, and then ridge. So yeah, it's wicked though. Look at that. It's not so bad today, but we've been up here before with some absolutely torrential wind and rain. And the thing is with this, it doesn't take a lot for it to seem extreme because it's so exposed and you're in like a, you know, probably one of the sort of tallest ridges for miles really, with no cover. But it does feel really exposed. So yeah, always pack your waterproofs and your sort of windproof jackets just in case. I always do. We're in like the 3rd of August today. We've still got all my stuff, but then again, it is Britain, so you can never predict the weather. But yeah, we're going to carry along this ridge line, get to Gallows Hill, and I'll join you there. So we're just about to get to the bit now, which we thought was Gallows Hill all them years, but it wasn't. It was just a hill. But yeah, I'll show you why we thought that when we get up here. But we're literally just about to come to it now. So this is kind of the hill bit here. You can kind of see why. I mean, I don't know if you can sort of hear me over the breeze, but you can kind of just imagine people kind of being down here, or sort of down here, and even over this side, like down here, watching all the bits that kind of happened up here. But no, this isn't it. No, this isn't Gallows Hill. Gallows Hill's actually over there. So I don't know if you can hear me, but it's sort of through the gates. There's that little mound there, which is Gallows Hill. So we're just about to walk there now. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of go down the field and then along, up, and then back round again. But yeah, this is what I'm on now. This is fake Gallows Hill. And then we're about to walk to the real one. Wonder how many other people have done that though. Because it does say on Google Maps or iPhone Maps or whatever that was Gallows Hill. But it isn't, obviously. But now when we go to this one here, this actual Gallows Hill, you can kind of, makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I'll stop the camera now and I'll join you back up at Gallows Hill. Cool, so hopefully it's a little bit quieter here. The wind hopefully isn't as bad. Apologies if it is. I need to try and find a microphone that's actually compatible with this GoPro. It's the GoPro Hero, not 3 or 11 or anything. Just the standard GoPro Hero, sort of mini. I don't know if it's called the mini, but yeah. And trying to find a mic that's compatible with it. So if there's any suggestions that you guys have, it'd be amazing if you could comment below what what you guys recommend. Don't want to spend a fortune, you know, anything up to maybe sort of 40, 50 quid, I don't know, whatever. But let me know what you guys think, because I'm struggling. But anyway, we're just about to come on to Gallows Hill now, so turn the camera around so you can see. But here we go. There we go. We're on. Our watch is talking to me. But yeah, so I'll turn the camera around now. But just before I do, you'll be able to see exactly kind of what I mean. It's quite eerie. Maybe it's just because I know. Maybe if you didn't know, you wouldn't think that. But we do, and it does. So let's turn the camera around. So yeah, you've got just cross this little path bit here now, and then we'll walk up onto it. Here we are. Yeah, this is Gallows Hill. And this was kind of like I said before, like an execution kind of site really for a lot of people back in the day. I don't know exactly what date era, I could probably find out for you. But over there is what we thought was Gallows Hill. You can kind of picture it really. Like, let me just walk up onto it. You can kind of picture it. Let me just get over here and I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, this is where the top of it used to be. And yeah, I don't know if there was people buried here. I really don't know. But it's yeah, bit of historical information for you. But yeah, I'll show you. You can kind of see what I mean by, you could just imagine people kind of standing all around here, all over there, with their little settlements or whatever it might be. And this being a bit more of a prominent point where they used to, let me just go over here and turn it around again. Sort of a prominent point where they used to make examples out of people that had done things, not great things. But yeah, it's just mental, isn't it, how things have changed for the better. But yeah, I mean, that's got some significant history behind it. So yeah, that was Gallows Hill. So what we're going to do now is we're going to walk through this gate to the right, and then we're going to head over there. I don't know if you can kind of see that over there, sort of the main car park area. But yeah, that's where we're going to go. God, it weirdly, it's breezier down here than it is up there, but hopefully you can still hear me. So yeah, that's kind of where we thought was Gallows. And that little tuft here is actually Gallows Hill. It's a lot more impressive sort of when you're up there, but no, that's Gallows Hill. That's what we thought was Gallows Hill. So don't make the same mistake as me. I've got my, it is quite breezy, so I am really sorry. I'm keeping the camera close to my face, so hopefully you can kind of still hear me a bit, but I've got my relive on. So basically what that is it kind of tracks the walk, and then it puts into like a 3D kind of map with the trail on. So at the end of this video, well, actually at the beginning of the video, I'll put the trail up so you can kind of see where we've walked, some of the main points, the elevation gain, and all those sort of bits, so you can actually see for yourself. If you do decide to do this, I would recommend it massively because it is great. It's only a couple of hours. What I'll be now, we're sort of just under an hour in now. And we have taken a little bit of a detour, actually, to be fair, because we don't always go to Gallows Hill, but today we have. So I'd say around 2 hours, maybe a little bit less. If you can do it an hour and 40, that's a really good time. But yeah, I'll put the route up at the beginning of the video so you can see for yourself. If you want to give it a go, I would highly recommend it. So what we're going to do now, let me show you where we've been then. So we came from here, walked all the way along up to Ivinghoe Beacon, which is over here, along this ridge, which is fake Gallows Hill, all the way along to Gallows Hill, down through 3 farmers' fields. This is the 3rd one here, down this track, and now we're going to head this way, straight up this real kind of steep bit here. It might not look as steep on camera, but believe me, it is steep. Yeah, it is steep. And yeah, it does test you. I don't really see many people walking up it, let's just put it that way. More people walk down it than up it. I think like I say, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, probably done it 100 odd times or whatever. And I think the whole time I've been doing this walk, I must have seen literally a handful of people do it, upwards 5 maybe. So it is very steep. So if you do want to do this walk, just bear that in mind, that this last section here, this is the real last steep bit, by the way. So once you've done it, it's pretty straightforward from there back to the car. But it is worth it. Once you've done it, you do kind of feel like you've achieved something. So 100%. Give it a go. Give it a go. Cool, so we're just about to go up this really horrible steep bit, and if I'm honest, this is actually probably the bit I regret the most. So I'm gonna try and get out the wind a little bit. I don't know if I can really, but essentially Hopefully this is a little bit better. Essentially it's up here. It doesn't look that long on here, but trust me, it is. And it's steep and it's horrible. Like I said, I don't really see many people going up it. Lots of people going down it, like there is now. So, yeah, I'm going to not talk on this bit. I'll get about 3/4 of the way up. I'll spin the camera around so you can see, because it's a really good sort of view of what we've done. So I'll get up to there, spin the camera around so you can kind of see what we've done. And then, yeah, I'll join you again at the top when we're walking back to the car. So yeah, let's start this horrible hill. It's definitely not a mountain. It's just a big horrible hill. Right, we're about halfway up this hill slope, but I just thought I'd turn the camera around to show you kind of what we've done. So yeah, walked along here. This is Ivinghoe Beacon here, all the way along the ridge there, back down this track, and here we are. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. Let's just get it down. At the time you feel like it's the worst thing in the world, but you've done it. An hour or so after you've done it, you think, yeah, fair play. A little sense of achievement on a Sunday before work on a Monday. Right, so we've made it to the top of that horrible steep hill now, but yeah, one last look at where we've been. Up the beacon there, and then across. Yeah, lovely. Now this bit here, you just got to, is sort of like the main kind of car park area where most people park. If they're just coming for the day, doing some dog walks, or just want to walk up the beacon. It's probably one of the most popular car parks. What's the time now? 9:30, so you can kind of see how busy it is. Usually there's like a little ice cream van parked up and a little coffee van, but yeah, it's kind of like one of the main car parks people come to. So yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to follow this sign back, Ridgeway, and that basically takes us down this path here. So we're going to follow it all the way back to more or less where we started to walk up the beacon, the Ivinghoe Beacon, really. So yeah, we'll get to there. We'll kind of do a left back over the that road, the Beacon Road, I think it's called. So we'll do a left there, and then basically walk back the way we came. We'll go back a slightly different way. We went through the woods this sort of on the way here. So on the way back, we'll go around the other way, so I can kind of show you that. There's not too much difference really in the distance, especially. It's all very much the same. But one thing I would say is that if you're coming up here sort of early spring, basically when we've had quite a lot of rain for a relatively long period of time, the wood area can get quite boggy and almost unwalkable in areas. It just gets so boggy to the point where it almost comes up to your sort of middle of your leg in some areas. Obviously if you're alright with that, then crack on, but I'd say go the other way, around the woods and stuff. So yeah, we'll show you that on the way back. But yeah, we're just walking down this path now. And one thing to mention is that last year I was doing I did base camp back in November, just gone, and I did a lot of my training around here. So all summer and stuff I was up here, sort of 2-3 nights a week, doing bits and bobs. And there was one time I came up here and I was walking down this track here that we're walking on now, and it was just absolutely littered, like full. You couldn't see the path with flying ants, and it was honestly horrendous. And that would have been around this sort of time of year, I'd imagine, sort of July, August time. Yeah, so I haven't seen any so far this year, and we're sort of really early August, so whether they've already been and I've missed it or whatever, hopefully I've missed it. And it's not yet to come, because that was awful. They were all up my legs, in my glasses, and like everywhere, all over me. I was covered. It was just awful. So yeah, just beware of that if you do this walk. You can walk along the road, sort of joining this path, so that might be a better option if there are. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. So just wanted to we're kind of back at nearly at the beginning of the Ivinghoe Beacon bit now, so just wanted to kind of use this time a little bit to talk about, or to ask you guys really what it is you kind of want to see. I mean, I've got plenty of walks, I've got plenty of stuff that I do, so I can video a lot of that, but if there's anything specific that you want to know, let me know. Like I say, I'm not exactly a fitness enthusiast. I know there's a lot of people out there that on YouTube that kind of live and breathe all this, and to some extent I do, but like I say, I'm not exactly a fitness enthusiast, but I do get out a lot. So if there's any questions that you've got to ask a regular guy, what kit do I have? You know, how long do you need to spend training to do certain things? Where's your favourite place, or whatever it might be, just ask, because I'm always interested to know kind of what people want to know. You know, at work, I'm always getting asked questions from people like, oh, you know, I'm thinking about doing Snowdon. What do you think? How much training should I do? Do I need to do any training? And things like that. So it's always good to know what people are thinking of. Like I say, I've done base camp, I've done Snowdon, I've done all the 3 peaks. I've been over to Northern Ireland, done mountains over there. I've done all sorts of different stuff. I'm always walking around here. There's loads of things that I'm always doing all the time. Whenever I can, I'm always like to get out. So yeah, ask away, let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you want to know, and I can hopefully try and answer those for you. So yeah, I hope you've kind of enjoyed the walk so far. The sun's just coming out now, so it is getting a little bit warm. But if you have liked it, I would love it if you could like and subscribe. It honestly means so much. I know I've only done a few videos, but just to know that people are kind of interested in what I'm doing is kind of the main thing. Just like, you know, that's all I'm asking for. Just a little like you would on Facebook. Just let me know that you guys are enjoying it, or if you're not, let me know. But yeah, no, like I said, we're just coming up to the bottom of the Ivinghoe Beacon now, so we're going to do a left, go back kind of the way we came. I'll join you there. So we've just come from the road, which is this way, and we're just about to walk down here. So this sort of crossroads section here, this is the way we came from, and we're going to go this way now. But just before we do, I've seen all these berries. Saw them on the way here, but I thought I'll have some on the way back. Nice. Yeah, so whenever you're on like a national trail route, always follow the acorn. That is the sign for the national trail, or any national trails. So yeah, we're gonna go right now. We're gonna kind of go round the woods, like last time we went through. We're gonna go round, and this time a few more views, I guess, this way. Yeah, the right time of year, usually sort of early, well, sort of spring really. You get a kestrel that kind of comes up here like clockwork really. You see him every week, but as it sort of starts to get warmer and I'm guessing all their young have hatched. They move on. I know it's interesting to kind of see all the different wildlife, all the changes, the colours change, everything in bloom, everything's starting to die, the berries starting to come out. Yeah, it's wicked. I do love it. I'll just turn the camera around now so you can kind of see the right time of year. These fields are in full bloom. They've obviously been harvested and stuff now, but yeah, you can kind of see that. The lovely views. You've got the Chilterns over here, and on some of the other walks, the walk I'm going to do next week is the long one. Wendover to normally here, but to sort of Albury, Ashridge Estate, and that's where we're going to be starting, right over there. So 14 miles. It's a really lovely walk. You've got lakes, you've got fields, you've got woodland, you've got amazing views. It's awesome, it really is. One thing about walking in the finer weather is it does get quite busy. We try and come on a Sunday early, but it doesn't always stop you. It's got an absolutely humongous group about to walk past us now, so I'll stand out the way and wait for them to come through. All good fun. Ah, you're gonna let me through. Lovely. Sorry, yeah, so my GoPro camera just ran out of battery, so I'm having to use my phone. If there's a bit of a quality difference now, I do apologise. But yeah, so we just sort of finished the bit around the woods. We're sort of coming up to the on the way here. I sort of said about a really steep bit that I sort of stood at the top of in the winter. I'm going to see if I can try and show you that. It's quite overgrown. Looks different to what it was in the winter, that's for sure. See what this is like. But this is the right way. Oh, there's people. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. I don't know if I can turn the camera around on it. Let's do it like this. But yeah, you can kind of see here, it's pretty steep. Yeah, so it's actually over there, to be fair, and then down. But you can kind of see that you walk in, it just almost like drops off, like dropping off the edge of the earth. But that's the valley. And that's the point over there where I kind of stopped and showed you the valley looking down. Yeah, beautiful, lovely. So we're going to head back to the car now. So we're just going to basically walk along that ridge that we kind of walked on the way here. Back to the car. So not long now. How long have we been walking? An hour and 37 to be fair, so that's actually quite long. Be around 2 hours I think before we get back to the car. But like I say, 2 hours is kind of like the max I'd be happy with. Anything over 2 hours isn't really ideal. Not that we like to kind of time ourselves, however, I think it's always good to have a bit of an idea of how long these things take. Just for your own peace of mind really, but I know that this takes 2 hours max. An hour and 45 is a sort of average. But anything between an hour and 45 and 2 hours is kind of what I aim for. Because you know, anything over 2 hours and something's gone wrong, or fitness levels have dropped massively, or whatever. So yeah. But 2 hours out your morning on a Sunday, most people can afford that. It's free as well in terms of price. So we've got to do a little bit of fuel to get here. If you live locally to the area, well, it's nothing, is it? So 100% recommend it. I'm not going to video too much more now because, like I say, my GoPro has died, so this is all on my phone. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to walk back that way, and then down, round, and back that bit that we, I don't know if you can kind of see there, kind of long bit there that we walked down before. So yeah, stop the video here and join you back at the car. Here we are, then back at the beginning of the walk. So this is the gate, and we have done it in 1 hour and 53 minutes. So I'll just stop that there. 1 hour 54. So yeah, just under 2 hours, which is about right. Right then guys, we're back at the car now. So this is the end of the walk. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, obviously like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know again if there's anything that you particularly want to see. Always interested to know what you guys want to see. Cheers guys.